welcome back. We're here with this Ariens 1028 today. We're taking a look at it because the customer said that it will not go into reverse. I drove it around a little bit. It doesn't run real well, but it would go into reverse, but it slipped real bad. If you've got a machine like this, you know how valuable they are because a lot of these machines will not fit into gates, and the newer ones that they make are just not a good quality. This thing's built well, kind of like some of the old snappers and things like that. This is one you want to get fixed and you want to keep around for sure. I'm going to show you how to get that taken care of if yours is having the same issue. First off, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy our content. First, we'll jack up the mower and get a couple jack stands underneath it. That way we can see exactly what's going on. Back this way a little bit. As we come up underneath here, you can see the whole drive system straight up from the bottom. This is the drive disc. Now what this does is the engine will spin the plate up above here, and that plate, depending on where it's at on that actuator back and forth, depending on what gear you're in, that controls which way the wheels go and how fast they go. It's all dependent on this plate up here. This drive disc, as you can see very clearly, it's all cracked and most of it's gone. There's cracks all the way around it. There is an adjustment for the throw and how much tension you have on your drive plate there. And that's this spring. The spring comes over and there's 3 holes on the clutch. This is the clutch rod. So when you hit the clutch in, it pulls it that way. And then when you let it go, it pulls it back this way. The more tension you have on this, the more tension you're going to have on your drive wheel and your plate. If you want more tension, you can move this spring down to the 2nd or 3rd hole. It's on the 1st hole right now, which is the least amount of tension. That's not the issue here though. The issue is that the actual drive wheel is worn out. We're going to replace that. When you engage the clutch, as you see, it pulls that back or towards the front. And my jack stand's kind of in the way, so it doesn't pull it all the way. But what it does is it pulls that away from the drive plate. And when it comes back, that's when it makes contact, depending on what gear you're in again. Right now we're in neutral. Right now we see the drive wheel and the plate in neutral. Everything spins freely, which means if the engine's turning, the wheels aren't going to turn. If I put it in reverse, the gear goes all the way to that side. Now that's at a low speed, but right now they're locked together. Just barely. I can still spin it a little because the wheel's worn out. You're not supposed to be able to spin that. Let's go to first. You do have to hit the clutch before you switch gears, so it takes the wheel away. So first is just on the other side of the wheel there, and it's at a low speed. That's locked in a little better, but still able to spin. Let's go all the way to high gear. That's 6th gear, and that puts us all the way on the outside edge of this wheel over here, and that gives us the fastest speed. If your wheel is all worn out like this or flat, it should not be flat. I'll show you a good one in a minute. It's a little bit better locked on the outside edge. If it's like that, the wheel needs replaced. Everything else in this case is working properly. All we need is a new drive disc. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. This disc just has a few bolts holding it on. They're 1/2 inch. Once you remove those, it comes completely off. Very easy to remove. Right now it's locked into high gear, so it cannot move on its own. I'm going to use this 1/2 inch cordless ratchet to do it. You can use just a regular ratchet or something like that, but you got to realize that this disc may try to move on you. With this, it just comes out very easily. Now there are lock washers on there. Not sure where that one went. Make sure to get it. So we've got 2 down. But again, I can't move this easily. Got to kind of do it a little bit more difficult. If you're doing it by hand though, it's going to try to move on you. So you've got to cam it somehow. If it's on the ground, it actually will not spin because the wheels are locking it up. Got 1 more left. It's a total of 5. Now we've got the ring that comes off first. It's just, you want to make sure it goes back on the way that you took it off. So with the lip facing towards the wheel, set it down just like that. And then the whole friction plate comes off, the friction disc. You can see how worn down that is versus a new one. So this is what the new one looks like and what the old one looks like. You can see there's a big difference in contour. There's a big difference in how much actual rubber is there. This one's pretty well gone and this one's brand new. I'll put the part number in the description for you guys if you need it. You just want to line up the holes. Once you get it back on there, you just move that belt around. Line everything up like it should be. It's not going to go back on since it's in high gear right now. We're going to want to remove it from high gear and put it back into neutral. I usually like to line the disc and the cover up, at least for the most part, and start a screw in it just so you know all the holes are where they're supposed to be. And then I'll snake it through just past this belt and then line it up to where as soon as you get that first one going, the rest of them will follow. Thought we were close. There we go. Just put them in all loose first. Sometimes it likes to fight you, of course. As soon as you get a couple going, the other 3 should be fairly painless. And just turn it around so I'm always working at the bottom edge. Now that we have all of them started, I'll bring them almost tight. And I'm gonna re-engage that to high speed again. And that's just so I can tighten everything back down. It's a lot harder to move now, but I'm turning the whole engine as I'm turning it. It's not able to slip against that top plate. Got everything tightened down. If you've replaced this and you're still having issues with slippage, again, adjust that spring down where you're getting more tension against it. I rarely have to adjust it. The only time I really see people adjust it is if their old one's completely worn out and they're trying to remedy the situation. And normally I'll put it back to that first notch to solve that, where we don't have to mess with it anymore. Now, if your brake is not working, if you come to the left-hand side here, there are 2 nuts that can be adjusted. So you would loosen the front one, and then you would tighten the back one in order to give it more tension on the brake. That's if you're not stopping when you're hitting the brake all the way, because that controls how far that pushes on this disc, how hard it actually pushes. Well, the drive works great, the brake works great, everything's working as it should. It's a lot warmer here this morning than I thought it was going to be. Rain hasn't started yet. We're going to get everything pulled out, get going. Hopefully this helps somebody out if you're having an issue like this on your Ariens 1028. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content.